It's Amy at the Grass Valley Library. Welcome to this week's episode of Random Acts of Science. Today we're going to do some science that looks a lot like magic. So we're going to go through the experiment together, but when you do it on your own, you may want an audience because it's so impressive. It's also really simple. So you're going to grab a bag from the Grass Valley Library or the Madeline Helling Library. You may also have all these materials at home, so you may not need anything from us this time around. Inside the bag, there's going to be a set of instructions on the materials you're going to need and how to do the experiment. On the back side is some more information about the science involved and some resources if you want to dig a little bit deeper. Also inside the bag is one sandwich-sized Ziploc and one pencil, just a number 2 pencil. It's really sharp, so you may want to make sure that it's still sharp when you get the bag and the lead hasn't broken off. And you can also add more pencils to do this trick and make it even more astonishing for your audience, which I'll show you here in a little bit. From home, you're going to need some water, and that's it, and maybe an audience if you decide to do it as a magic trick. So, all right, let's just do it. So, I've got my magic hat. I'm going to put it on for this part of the show, and we're going to go ahead and do this together. The science, you know, and I know that when you thrust a pencil through a bag of water, which is what we're going to do here in a second, that the bag is not going to leak, but your audience won't know that. How do we know that? We know that because plastic bags are made out of polymers. Polymers are are substances that have long strings of, oops, my bag's a little tricky here, long strings of molecules in them. And think of them as beads hanging in a doorway. So if you part the beads to go through, the beads are going to close up again behind you and cover that doorway again. So in a plastic bag, the beads, think of the beads as going this way or this way, doesn't matter. When you thrust a pencil through, they're going to try and close around that pencil and prevent any water from leaking out of the hole that you're going to make, obviously, when you puncture it with the pencil. So as long as you leave your pencil in place, there's not going to be any water coming out of the bag. So that's the magic. But that might be something that your audience doesn't know. So here, having a little bit of knowledge is power, and you can have fun with it. So for our magic trick today, I'm going to stick a pencil through this bag of water without any water seeping out. You might ask your audience, what do they think is going to happen when you poke it? Do they think it's going to spring a leak? Do they think it's going to explode everywhere? You might even have someone sit in front of you, hold the bag over their head, and then do the experiment with the added threat of them getting totally wet if it fails. So that's another way to do this one. So I'm going to take this pencil, I'm going to slam it through this bag, and no water is going to come out. Ready? I can even use a magic word if you want to. Abracadabra. There it is. I got a pencil through the bag. And then if you want to make it really interesting, you can do even more, as many as you want. And there you go. I've got 4 pencils in my bag. That's it. That's today's episode of Random Acts of Science. I hope you join me next week for some more fun science. Have a good one.